This video is to discuss how to make a high-res, print-ready PDF in Adobe programs for a perfect bound book. Now, as you can see, I already set up my artwork file with 32 total pages. My book is going to have 32 pages, and I did that by going into the File, Document Setup. I chose number of pages as 32. And I chose my facing pages. I clicked yes for facing pages because I have crossover images that go from the left-hand page to a right-hand page, and I need to make sure they line up in the center, and the best way to do that is to choose facing pages. If you don't have artwork that crosses over in your book, you can uncheck this and you'll have all single pages going down, 32 separate single pages, not side-by-side pages. So for the page size, you want it exactly what your final book will be. My final book will be 8.5 by 11 size. So I made the width 8.5, the height 11, which is exactly the same size. Do not add bleed into this. Do not make it smaller. Do not make it bigger than your book. You want exactly what your book will be. Down here in the bleed and slug pull down, you want to choose bleed 1/8 of an inch on all 4 sides of your pages. Then click OK, and it will make a 32-page document. You would place your artwork. On our website, there are templates that you can download for all the various products, including a perfect bound book. Now, in this book, this template, it only has 8 pages, but our book has 32 pages. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate some of the text pages through the middle of the book. Our template has an outside front cover, inside front cover, text page 1, 2, 3, 4, inside back cover, outside back cover. And that's all you really need from that template. So I went ahead in my InDesign file, I made a template layer, and I placed the template in the file. Let me turn off the artwork. So the outside front cover, inside front cover, text page 1, text page 2, text page 3. Now I duplicated pages 2 and 3 all the way throughout the book until the second to last spread, right there. And then on the last spread, I put text page 4, inside back cover, outside back cover. You want to build your file in the correct printing order. You want the pages, you want to start with the front cover, the outside front cover, the inside front cover, text page 1, 2, 3, etc., all the way to the end of the book, and the last page should be the outside back cover. Do not build the file out of order. It is very important that your file stays in the correct printing order. Now you can see this is our template, and it has all kinds of information in it which you could read about, but I'll give you a brief overview. This black line is the trim edge. This yellow area with the pink outline, this is the bleed area. The blue line is the safety margin. So the safety margin is 1/8 of an inch inside of the trim edge on almost all products. The bleed margin, which is out here beyond the trim edge, is also 1/8 of an inch past the trim edge. For the safety margin, it's very important that no type, logos, or any other kind of important artwork is placed beyond that edge. So as you can see here, this number 3, folio page number 3, is on the inside of this safety margin, and this is a good position for it. However, if it moved so that it was like here, on the outside of the blue line, in between the safety margin and the trim edge, there's a good chance this number, part of the 3 or some of the 3, could potentially get cut off when the books are bound and cut and put together. There's movement in paper, it's on a conveyor belt, there's moisture, there's all kinds of variables in printing. It's never exactly perfect. So that is why we have the safety margin. So I just put this back to where it goes, which is the correct position. Now let's see. This is one of my crossover images. And as you can see, it lines up perfectly in the center. And that is why I chose facing pages, side by side pages here. so that this artwork and this artwork will line up correctly. And you can see my bleed is all the way around. All images, all artwork, all background colors, gradients, anything that touches the trim edge must extend 1/8 of an inch past the trim edge to the outer bleed edge. And we did that on all of our pages. You can see through, here's another crossover image, and it lines up, and I have bleed on all 4 sides and all the way through the entire book. Now, let's talk about links. This is the front cover logo. And if you go to the links palette, the logo is chosen. You can get some more information on this link. Let me pull this down. As you can see in this link info, this logo is RGB color, which is a very bright color space. However, we print in cyan, magenta, and yellow and black inks, which is CMYK color space. We convert any file we get that has RGB, Pantone colors, any other color space into CMYK automatically in our RIP, because we print in the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black inks. Some RGB images, colors can be really bright compared to CMYK. So some people do not like the conversion from RGB to CMYK. So our recommendation is to convert all of your artwork to CMYK on your end, adjust the colors the way you like them, save your artwork, and then relink them into your file. That way, the colors you get in the end will be what you expect and what you put into the file. It's important that the color that you send to us, the file you send to us, is what you're going to get in the end, and not end up with a duller looking color than you expected. Now, also, this logo, you can see here, it's more information. This is the actual DPI. It's 300 DPI in Photoshop. However, the effective DPI is 150 because it was placed at 200% enlargement. That makes it 150 DPI, which makes it low res. Even though the original file was technically 300 DPI, placing it at a larger size reduces the DPI. So now this is low res. Anything below 300 DPI is considered low res. If you'll notice, there is also this logo on the outside margin that is CMYK, so it's the right color space. It's 300 DPI, and its effective DPI is 300 because it was placed at 100% enlargement. And this is what you want. The best option, what we should do, is replace this logo, that's RGB and low res, with this logo that's CMYK and high res. And we will do that later on. Now, we're going to export a PDF. We go to File, Export. I'm going to put it on my desktop. You want to make sure you choose Format, Adobe, PDF Print. From the pull-down menu, you click Save. I already had one there. And you want to choose PDF X4 2008. It comes preloaded in all Adobe applications, Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, etc. Now, it should also come in every version of all those programs. Now, if you'll notice, it says high quality print here and press quality here. Don't use these two. They're not that good. This is the best option. Now, you'll see these tabs down the side with various options for settings. These should all be already correct with the exception of one thing. Marks and bleeds. We need to add marks and bleeds, actually, no marks, to our PDF. If you click Use Document Bleed Settings, it will pick up this dimensions from when we made the document setup. When we set up our file and we chose to add bleed to all 4 sides, it will add whatever is in that field when we created the file, it will add in here. If you didn't do that by accident, if your file don't have bleed settings in your document setup, you can choose to add it in manually, 1/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. Do not click crop marks, bleed marks, any of this up here. We don't want any of this. We only want bleed. Everything else in this preset for PDF Export 2008 should be correct, including pages. Export as pages, single pages, never ever ever spreads. We want single pages in the correct printing order for all of our books. Okay, so to reiterate, PDF X4 2008, it says modified because we went into the marks and bleeds tab and we added bleed. So let's export this PDF, and it's gone. It's exporting. Okay, it's right here. Now if you notice, I made a mistake here. I left the template in the file. If you leave a template or any mark at all that is just temporary, that you don't want to print, we cannot delete it. Once you send us a PDF, print ready PDF, we cannot delete your marks. You must delete them yourself before you make the PDF. So we're going to have to go back into InDesign, go to the layers palette, turn off our template layer, and re-export our PDF. We want to write right over the existing one because the one with the template is no good. All the settings should be picked up from the previous setting, from the previous export with the bleed. Click export, and it's making the PDF, and then it's made, and then we can open this up, and you can see here that our file doesn't have the template anymore, and we have single pages. And if you look down here, this is the size of each page. That is correct because we have an 8.5 by 11 file with 1/8 of an inch bleed on all 4 sides, which equals 8.75 by 11.25. So this size is correct on all pages. And if you notice, you see this green, bright green line, that is the trim edge. It's a preview in Acrobat. You go to Preferences, General, Page Display, Show Art, Trim, and Bleed Boxes. I'm going to turn it off, and it goes away, and I'm going to turn it on, and it will come back right here. And you can go through and check each page to make sure you have bleed on every page on the outside edges. Now if you notice, this is page 2. This is the left-hand page. You can see this green here. This is where the binding edge is going to be. This green won't show. Once we impose the pages for press, we will cut off this interior binding edge, and that green comes from the page next to it. It won't print on this, on page 2. It will get cut off when we impose for press. So don't worry about that. All the way through the book, you can see multiple pages that have the crossover here, and they line up. The bleed here is the inside binding edge on that page, and it's inside binding edge on this page. It will not create a double image here. These will get cut off when we impose for press, and then this image will line up perfectly as it did in InDesign. Now you want to go through and check all your pages that you have bleed on all images and background artwork on every page. You can check here. You can also check to make sure no type and logos are too close to the trim edge. You want to make sure nothing is going to get cut off. That's important. And you go through the entire book and you check every page. And this looks good, and that's 32 pages. So your normal pages for a perfect bound book are all set. This is a high-res PDF. That's great. Now, in a perfect bound book, there is also a spine. Right here is the spine that I created. And I went to Document, Setup, and I created my spine. One page. It's a separate file. It is not built into the regular pages of the rest of the book. And I got this width size from our website. When you go to our website and you go to the Perfect Bound product page, you put in the number of pages, you choose your paper types for your cover and your text, and then you click Add to Cart. There will be a pop-up window after you click add to cart, it will tell you the width of the spine for your book. It varies based upon the number of pages and the paper that you choose. So the website will give you the exact dimensions. It will tell you the width of your book, of your spine, which you put in here, and the height is obviously the height of the book. And again, you want to add an 1/8 inch bleed to all 4 sides, even on the spine. You click OK. And then you can see what I added some artwork here. It's going to be really small because this is a very small spine. It's only 1/8 of an inch wide. You want to make sure any type logos isn't exactly on the edge of the spine. You want to come in a little bit. That's probably a little tight in the P, but it'll probably be okay. And that's okay. The bigger the spine, obviously the bigger the type that you can make. So let's go and export this PDF. We're going to export. We're going to choose to the desktop. Again, format, Adobe PDF print. Click save. I already had one there. You want to use the same exact settings that you used for the rest of the book. PDF X4 2008. Single pages, marks and bleeds. Do not add crops, bleed marks, etc. Only add in bleed. Same exact bleed, 1/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. And you want to hit export. And then we have a PDF here. Now this is your spine, and this is your 32-page book. We need separate spine and separate normal sized pages for a perfect bound book. Now, when we create the book in our software, we will combine all the pages together to create the cover spreads, because this needs to be together. So this would be the front cover, the spine, the back cover, and inside front cover, the inside part of the spine, which this is glue. From this first magenta line to this last magenta line, this is the glue on the inside of the cover that will attach the text pages right here. This line as well. This is 8.5 by 11. This has no bleed on it. After we put it all together, we send you a PDF with no bleed, so you can see exactly what it's going to look like. This area will have glue. So also, when you build your design file in InDesign, the first text page and the last text page, which is right here, they will have glue here to hold the whole book together, to hold the cover onto the text pages. So try not to design any type or anything into this 1/4 inch space here. The glue extends 1/4 of an inch from the spine edge into the page on the first text page, the last text page, the inside front cover, and the inside back cover. So try not to put any artwork too close here. Keep it more on the outside edges of this page. Now you can see here the spine didn't get added. That was an accident. We will re-add that. But the spine is white, and it's okay because this back page is white. But there are other designs which I'm going to show you. So this is another book that has multiple pages, and this is the front cover spread that we created from the supplied files. This is the front cover, outside front cover. This is the outside back cover on the left, and this is the spine in the center. Now you can see the artwork lines up. It looks good. This is what it would look like if no spine file was supplied. It looks funny. It doesn't look consistent. That's why we highly recommend you always supply a spine file in addition to all your regular sized pages. That way, when it prints, also it looks more seamless, much better looking than the white box. It will default to a white box in the spine area if no spine file is supplied. So we always recommend, always supply a spine file. Okay. So when you upload the PDFs, your pages and your spine, you're going to upload those together when you order on our website. Just make sure they're indicated, one spine, one's text pages, whatever it is. So these are your print ready PDFs, and you're all set to go.